Oh, you got water. Well, I've got
Hey,
strawberry. I've got strawberries and cream milkshake
Oh,
and chocolate and orange cookies.
lovely.
So, and all you've got is water.
I know.
You usually have like a bag of crisps or something, don't you? Or...
No, I've got nothing. I've just literally finished dinner, so ready to rock and roll.
All right, well, let's rock and roll then. Welcome to the Waffle Cafe podcast, your regular plate of healthy, topical, fun, debate and banter from myself, Ben, and yours, lovely David.
Thank you very much. You didn't make me introduce myself last week. I wasn't ready for that one last week.
Oh, sorry. We still haven't really got round to actually, should we introduce each other or just introduce ourselves? So I apologise.
No, I think that works better. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Yeah, busy, man. Busy. I'm trying to utilise every weekend to do something different. So I had like Tom the other weekend, and we went to the Balmoral show. It was like a big farm fair event. It was a bit weird walking just around with farmers, sheep, cattle, pigs, and everywhere. That was quite good. But just been trying to keep busy, mate. Just try and enjoy life, really. How are you?
Good, mate. I feel quite buzzing today. It's because the weather has been good here. Obviously, my office is in the garden, so I've had the doors open. The weather's been shining. I've actually listened to all your previous songs, tunes of the week. So I've been bopping away to that while working, and I'm very happy with my notes for this week on the topics.
Yeah,
so I'm ready to get going.
You've hyped it up. Just a quick question on the Spotify playlist. Have you listened to the Linkin Park album? It is quite heavy, so it's not something that I'd expect you to listen to. So I'd be quite interested to see what you think of it.
I gave it a go. So my feedback is White Lies. Yes,
okay.
I like.
Okay, all right.
I like Linkin Park. A bit heavy for my liking.
It's raw, isn't it? It's raw. Yeah.
Ben Howard, I do like a lot.
Okay.
Is it I've got it up here, The Wolves. I think
yes.
that was that one stood out to me. And then obviously I got a bit sidetracked with all my garage tunes. And then obviously I listened to
700 of them from EZ's compilation album.
That's the one. And then I did listen to the M83 10-minute jobby.
Yeah.
And that is, I can see what you mean about it's not like chill out, but you could have that. It's very like it doesn't distract you from doing anything. So you could have it, on listening to that and I can see why that was a recommendation of yours. I'm all caught up. I think that's pretty good work by me.
That's good. That's good. And if anyone's interested in listening to our Spotify playlist, which is obviously updated after every podcast publication, you can find it in our link tree, can't they? Yeah, find it on our link tree.
Yes.
Which is obviously linked on our social media account. So let's get rock and rolling.
Right, as always, we start the podcast off with good vibes of the week, where we share a positive news story, something that has happened in our lives that just is going to bring cheer and happiness into everyone listening. So I'm going to start what was your good vibes of the week last week? Can you remind people, or obviously tell new listeners they haven't listened to last week's?
It was, I believe it was Treedom. It was Treedom, wasn't it? And yes. It was the social enterprise, obviously, where you could buy a plant or a tree and it gets planted somewhere else in the world for farmers to grow. And then they can use the fruit or the plant to sell and to obviously use the money to, I'm going to say better their lives, but obviously help their community and themselves.
Yep. So I was inspired.
Oh.
So my good vibe of the week is I've actually gone on to Treedom. I've purchased a banana tree.
Oh, wicked.
In the name of Waffle Cafe podcast.
Oh, okay.
That's cool. So long after we're gone, there will be a banana tree in Cameroon.
Oh, wicked.
In the Waffle Cafe podcast's name. And I thought I've seen on there. So I've named it. And obviously, apparently it's still in the nursery and it can take a couple of weeks to a couple of months to actually come out of the nursery and be planted, and we get our first picture. So obviously once all that happens, and obviously you can update the social medias with the tree and growing. But then I noticed on there you can actually, it's got a thing called forests. So if you've got more than one tree, you can almost like start building a forest type thing. So my plan going forward is maybe, I don't know, once, twice a year, we can add to that in the Waffle Cafe podcast name and have our own forest, because we've spoken a lot about sort of good things for the planet in terms of like your plastic waste and reuse, like washing the bottles out and stuff like that. So I thought we speak about it a lot. Let's actually, I know you've done something personally, but for the podcast to show that we're a bit green and we care. So that's my good vibe for the week.
I feel a bit emotional. That's really cool. I like that.
Yeah, I thought it was good. Good.
And why a banana tree? What made you? Because I had an email as an update on my cacao tree, which I haven't checked. So what made you decide for a banana tree?
Really and truly, it's nothing too amazing. I just saw banana trees and I really like bananas. So I thought, why not? I thought obviously planting anything would be good, but as I like bananas, I thought we'll go with that one. Apparently it will work out 10 kilograms of CO2 a year out of the plant, which is something like a 70, I can't remember. I think it was like 70-mile plane journey. So obviously, plane journeys are obviously way longer than that normally. But
it just makes you think that's just one banana tree. And if you know what I mean, if you had 1,000 banana trees planted, then that's 70,000. 70 times 1,000. I should know. Yeah, 70,000. Yeah, 70,000 miles of air journeys that would get obviously absorbed by from that CO2 gets absorbed. So that's just 1,000 trees. You think how many bananas people eat and how many bananas trees are grown and that lot. It's effects. That's wicked, man. That's quality. No wonder you're buzzing.
Well, you inspired me, so it's all thanks to you. But yeah.
Oh man, that's well good. You'll like it because, like I said, they give you diary entries and pictures and stuff, and they so you can see it sort of growing. And like I said, it's just like it's a shame that like when that banana tree does actually produce fruit, you can't actually buy your own Waffle Cafe bananas. They're just but oh well. Oh man, that's cool, man. Well done. I like that. I like that a lot.
Well, inspired by yourself, so teamwork on that one, definitely.
No, well done, man. Well, my good vibe does not carry any weight of that whatsoever. I was very close, by the way, of giving blood at the weekend.
Okay.
I've always wanted to do it. I've registered myself up for it because it was through my work. You could register through. So when the venue comes through, because it's always in my mind to do it. I think you've done it before, haven't you?
Yeah, I've done it a few times. It's a few times. Very easy to do.
Does it hurt?
No, it doesn't hurt. Well, it does for me occasionally because I've got really weird veins in my arms, so they can never get. It depends who you get. Obviously, if there's an experienced person doing it or not. So they always 9 times out of 10 normally have a problem getting the needle into my vein to get the blood out. And then sometimes I have quite, I think, like low blood pressure because the blood doesn't come out as quickly as it does for other people. So I did have a bad experience the last time, so I haven't been back. But I do.
When you say bad experience, do you mean like you just been like stabbed in your arm a lot, or?
Well, yeah, they have to try it. They can only try it once in each arm, and then I think the last time I went, they couldn't get any blood out either arm, and I was like, "What's the point?" Because every time I've been, I've never had it done easily. So the last time when they couldn't bother, I was like, oh, "What's the point?" I'm just going there for them to be a pincushion. So, but I did. It's in my head, and I get the emails and stuff, and it's like, yeah, no, I should go back. I shouldn't let that bad experience put me off. So.
I was very close at the weekend. We were at the Balmoral show in Northern Ireland just for a day out, and they had a blood van there. And my wife said, why don't you go do it? And I was like, yeah, I might do it later. It depends, obviously, where we are with like my little boy and that lot. And he just got very tired at the end, and we just, I didn't know how long the process would take and that lot. And so I registered anyway. Anyway, so when I do give blood, that will definitely be my good vibe of the week. But my good vibe week is actually a bit of a story that's been around the international news this week. And I just kind of thought, how cool was this guy calm under pressure? Did you come across the story of the passenger on the small aircraft in Florida whose pilot
He
You might
passed
want to,
out or
yeah,
passed out or something.
yeah, he passed out
Yeah.
and he had no flying experience whatsoever. And he managed to land the plane with the help of the traffic controllers and stuff. Did you come across that?
I did.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow. But did you hear about the traffic controller though? Because I think it was lucky.
It was, I remember reading something about that. They couldn't find the plans of the cockpit. So they kind of just had to kind of guess and go around what kind of buttons that might have been there.
Yeah, but it was the fact that it happened to be the traffic controller he was speaking to was a retired pilot.
Right. Okay. I couldn't come across that.
So yeah, he did have the knowledge, but probably wouldn't know the knowledge of that exact plane. But obviously, he was lucky that the person on the traffic controller was a retired pilot, so he had some obviously clear know-how how to fly a plane.
Yeah.
And land a plane, but still,
I managed to just copy what one of the quotes was. So when the air traffic controller radioed in, he said, "Oh, 3 Lima Delta, what's your position?" And the guy whose name is Darren Harrison responded, "I have no idea. I see the coast of Florida in front of me and I have no idea." And it's just like, wow. And they managed to, because they're coming back from a fishing trip in the Bahamas, as you do. I mean, it's just a usual day out, obviously. And then obviously they helped navigate it to one of the airports in Florida. And apparently to land a small plane would take 20 hours of training. And this guy obviously did it first time. And they said the landing was actually like enough spot on. And I just kind of thought, although there's not like a good vibe like yours, it's kind of like, it kind of put me in the position like, because obviously we all probably had a go at airline simulator on the PlayStation or the PC. And instead of like landing it, we all probably crashed it. But in real life, would you do you reckon you'd step up to the plate, Dave?
I think you'd have to. It's literally life or death, and you'd have to. Someone on do we know how many people were on that plane? It was obviously
it was just them two in a small aircraft. It was just those two.
Oh, okay. Well, then you'd have to step up, wouldn't you? You haven't got any choice. It's either that or definite death.
Now, here's a good. We're sort of jumping to would you rather, right? But say the pilot died, right? You checked his heart, you checked his pulse. He died. You couldn't revive him. He's gone. And there's a parachute, and you've never parachuted before. Would you still try to land the plane, or would you get that parachute and go, right, I'm going to try to save myself?
I think I would. I mean, like he did. He was obviously able to speak to air traffic control. So I think if they told me, because the thing is, it's all well and good you jump in, but where's that plane going?
Okay, let's change the scenario slightly then.
It's safer to try and land it because you can still kill people on the ground when it crashes. Okay,
let's change scenario. You're in the plane. You know, when the air traffic control, there's nothing on the radio. Pilot's died, and you need to land the plane. You can either land the plane or take the parachute. And obviously, you're over water, or you're over water.
Oh no! See, that's the end. No, because then you're in the whole ream of if you take the parachute, then you're going to land in the water, and then it's going to be like that. What's that film when they the film when they just spend like the whole film in the sea trying not to be eaten by sharks. And they basically all end up being eaten by sharks, and no one survives. So I think it was over land, like somewhere like over the Sahara Desert. Nothing. Oh no! But again, you land in the Sahara. I don't know. I think in certain circumstances, I would take the parachute because how difficult can that be? You strap it on, throw yourself out, you pull a cord, and you'll find you will land safely eventually. But
obviously, the risk is you pull that cord and nothing happens.
True, but then if you're not going to land the plane, then I think the same end result, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe we'll just keep this as a would you rather for later, actually. So yeah. Gripe of the week turn now, and it's our turn, our time to moan, to get off our chest, something that's annoyed us this week, something that's been bugging us, that itch we can't scratch, and it's our time just to be a moany old person, really. So
how moany are you going to be this week? I'm going to be quite moany.
I've done a little bit of maths in mine just to show you how bad and how So I might as well just start actually. So I was at the Balmoral show at the weekend, right? And on the side, so basically the Balmoral show is a big sort of farm agriculture event. They do sheep prizes. We walked through all the sheep and the cows in the enclosures and stuff. I didn't know what I was looking for. I mean, there's like prize of winning and stuff. And I was thinking, okay, I don't know, is that good looking? Basically, it's like crufts for pigs and cows and sheep without them jumping through hoops and round fences and stuff. But yeah, so on the side was a fun fair. My little boy wanted to go to the fun fair because he saw the big wheel. I was like, okay. So we walked to the fun fair, and so how much would you, obviously you've been to fun fairs in the past, Dave, right? Especially when you're young. Mm-hmm. How much would you say? Because obviously you have to buy the tokens to go on, because they obviously they do that to stop like the exchange of cash flow, don't they? So the cash goes one place into the token booths. So how much would you say, or how much have you paid in the past for like a fun fair ride?
Let's think about it. So I think there's one local to us that comes every year, and I think it's normally about two quid a token, or it might be even like £1 a token. But then, yeah, when you go to the actual ride, maybe it depends on the ride. So I think some of them are like 2 tokens. I think there was this one near us. I don't think there was one more than about 4 or 5 tokens. Maybe like, yeah, 4 or 5. Right. So,
so the 4 or 5 tokens. What kind of ride was that, Dave?
I think that was, the one where it goes. What's it called? Like a scary house thing, and you go along and you walk through. So that's like you're in there for quite a while, and it's got like the levels, type things.
Okay. Well, so the tokens were like £1 per token, mm-hmm. but every ride was 3 tokens per person, right? No matter what, it was £3 per person, which I thought was quite I thought, well, okay, all right. But then, so we walked round, we sort of, first place we took Louis on, my little boy, was the Ferris wheel, and it was £3 tokens per person. So £3 per person, straight away. So my wife bought 12 tokens and she didn't want to go on. So she gave me 12 tokens. I didn't realize she gave me 12 tokens. I thought she gave me enough for me, my father-in-law and Louis to go on. So I gave the guy the tokens. So he already got 3 tokens bonus without giving any back. Cheapskate. So we got in.
That's bad. Yeah,
well, he didn't count. He just thought I knew how much to give him. I didn't know. So we lost her out of 3 tokens. So we went round, I think, 3 times on a Ferris wheel. So that was £9 for a pod of 3 people to go around a Ferris wheel 3 times.
Or
and then
£12.
Yeah, okay, so basically £12. Then we took Louis on the teacups. Now this is where it gets a bit stupid. So we thought, okay, put Louis in the teacup, 3 tokens, right? But an adult had to go with him. So my wife started going on to teacup, and he stopped her and he goes, no, you need to pay as well. I was like, right, okay. So it was £6 for Louis and my wife to sit on a teacup for a couple of minutes, £6, right, for that. And then he went on to these little bumper cars. Actually, to be fair, they're really cool. There's like these sort of inflatable spinning round things, and you had these controllers that go forward or left and right. And he loved them. He just kept them spinning around. And again, they're in there for a couple of minutes. That was £3 again for him. So I did a little bit of maths here, and this is where it gets a bit silly, right? So I worked out the teacups per hour based on having 6 teacups on their ride, and roughly having 3 teacups with an adult and a child, and then having the other 3 teacups with just a child. That'll be £27 per round. Okay. Now I worked out it's about a 5 minute of going around and the sort of turnover of people coming in and out. So it's 12 goes per hour. So they would get £324 per hour, which is over 6 hours in a day, £1,944 per day. Over 4 days, which was a show, was £7,776 just for teacups, right? Go on to little bumper cars, based on 7 cars. I think there's more than 7 cars, £252 an hour, £1,512 per day, which is £6,048 over 4 days. Then I went on to the Ferris wheel. I was on it, right? Mass, I was on it. 12 pods, based on 2 people in each pod, but then obviously it could be more, £864 per hour, which is £5,184 per day, which is £20,736 over 4 days. So adding those 3 rides together over 4 days, they made £34,560. There were also 7 other rides in the fun fair, including things like the dodgems. So there must have been a good 12, 15 dodgems in there. You also got the thing that goes, it's like teacups for the adults, that goes up and it goes, it's an indoor one, but it goes round and round really fast. It goes sort of up and down a little bit as well. It gets quite sickly. I don't know if you've seen it. Also, there was also a pendulum one, which goes at 70 miles an hour round and hangs you upside down and up in the air. I think that was more tokens as well. And they had other side stalls. But for these 3 rides, they had 34 grand they took in. I just thought it was just extortionate. It was so much money. I know these fun fairs, I'm sorry, waffling now. I know these fun fairs, they move around and obviously that's their prime time to get money. I just thought it's just the price was absolutely extortionate. I don't know if you agree with me, but it was just such a massive money-making scam. So yeah.
It's not really a scam though, is it? Because
no, it's in your face, isn't it? You're not really being tricked. You just got to pay it.
It's like this is the ride. This is the price. Do you want to pay it or not? I mean, I think everyone listening now is probably going to be going out and trying to start their own fun fair with prices like that because everyone will be a millionaire by the end of it.
Well, okay, and also I did a bit of maths as I went round in the show as well because it cost £10 to park, and you're laughing. But the place is huge for parking. It used to be the Maze prison, but then obviously it's closed down and it was moved. So they've got quite a lot of land. And I worked out, I don't know how many cars I worked out based on one, but I worked out that plus tickets, they probably would have raked in just tickets and the car park about 2.5 million over 4 days.
It's a lot
from that show.
It's a lot of money, but then that type of show I would have thought a lot of outgoings.
Well, you say that, but then all the vendors and the brands that are there would also be paying rent prices for their pitch.
Yep, true.
So agreed. That would also be on, and then all the food people that are there, all that they obviously they take that money in. So the people who own that land, and it's like an exhibition area as well. They would rake a lot of money in, I reckon. I know, like the outgoing, like obviously they would have to pay for like the policing, the stewarding, maybe sort of like the fences, other things like that as well.
Liability insurance, liability, that kind of someone hurts themselves or anything.
Yeah,
there's probably more outgoings than you probably think. But I know that what you mean. Everyone that's there probably is having to pay. They're there for, like, obviously pay their way for being there. But yeah.
But I mean, I like doing a little bit of maths like that just to work out how much I think they're probably taking in. But anyway, going back to the fun fairs, I think just for me, being charged, my wife and my little boy being charged £6 for a 2-minute ride, I was just like, that's, and I just thought that was extortion.
How much did you end up spending on fun fair rides then on the day? Did you do that maths?
My wife got 12, I think maybe £22 on the fun fair there, and then we were only in the fun fair for about maybe 15-20 minutes. Yeah, because obviously each ride's like 2 minutes. The first one went around 3 times, and then obviously he's only there for a couple of minutes in the teacups and a couple of minutes on the these little spinning dodgems, and that was it. And it was
they know that we can't say no to our little darlings because they're just going to kick off and go nuts. So they got us by the Watsits, haven't they?
Exactly.
I know we're going to cough it up.
I'll be looking to see if I can set up a fun fair in town and charge an extortion amount. So
Waffle Cafe.
There you go, man.
Waffle Cafe pod fun fair coming to town near you soon.
And you get a free waffle per ticket as well. But I feel lighter load now, mate. So it's your turn. Your turn to get the weight off your shoulders.
Very angry at that one, and I'm a bit annoyed about my one as well. So I'm just going to go straight into it. It's when the train lines have works and you're trying to get somewhere.
Honestly,
trying to get
mate,
somewhere?
I've never ever been affected by this. I hardly ever get trained in my life, really. So I'm sorry.
So when this podcast goes out, I would have already been. But this weekend, I'm going to the Harlequins versus Gloucester game at Twickenham. So like how they do
Is that the Premiership final?
No, it's not the final. We're still in normal
Right, okay.
time. But
Right, okay.
you know how Harlequins always have their big game
Yes.
In December? They're now doing a summer one, obviously
Right.
more money or whatever. So it's at Twickenham. So it's Harlequins versus Gloucester. So I can normally get to Twickenham on the train with about an hourish. No, of course not. There's rail works on this weekend. So it will take 2 hours to get there, which is it's not too bad, but when you know it should take you an hour. So I think I could stomach it going there, but then I'm going to go there, drink, have a good time. Then at some point I'm going to want to come home, and it's at that point I'm going to go.
At some point you're going to want to come home.
I'm going to have to go. It's going to take me 2 sodding hours to get home, and I can't be asked with that. It's going all the out the way, and I understand because I've been this person as well. When you're home on the news and they interview people on the news, and it's during like half term and summer holidays, and they're going, I'm trying to get to work and they're doing railway works. It's ridiculous. And I get they have to do the rail works at the quieter times. You're not going to do it during term, like when everyone's at school, everyone's at work. You will do it all the weekends, but do them at night, not like during the day. I need to get to the Queen's game. I know probably people are listening going, it's pathetic, but it's one of those. It's getting in the way of my plans. I should just be able to go hour, do what I need to do, watch the game, have a few drinks, and back. But no, not this weekend. Spanner in the works. So,
I mean, you already pitched on the point. Why can't they just do it at night? Why can't they do it at night? Is it? I mean, would that affect residents who are living near the line? Then you reckon?
It's probably more so that it's going to take them a longer period of time, so they can't do it in the one night. Because I've looked, this works is from like Saturday, all of Sunday, and they'll be back up Monday. So it's probably a time period. They probably need two full days to do it, which is, again, it's understandable. I get it, but it doesn't help me in my situation for this weekend. So that's my annoying gripe of the week. Nice, quick, easy one.
But there's a small elephant in the room that you need to address first.
What's that?
Well, your mum lives around the corner.
Well, yeah, no, that's what I'm doing.
So you're gonna because of the train works, you're gonna just kip over your mum's.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna drive to your mum's.
Kip there, and then drive back in the morning.
So really, you could have done that anyway and avoid. I mean, obviously you could go. Obviously, it's greener to go train, and obviously you save petrol and the time and stuff. But you had another option. You could have obviously stayed with your mum. But no, I get the feeling. I do understand, because if you want a few drinks, you just want to get home after and not have to worry about waiting around. And because it just saps you for the day again, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, 2 hours there I can do, but on the way home, you just want to get home.
Yeah,
and there's nothing like your own bed. So
no, I get you, mate. I've never had a problem with trains, mate, because I'm a more patient guy than you.
Lucky you.
Sorry, mate. Do you want a cookie?
Tuneage of the week time. So here we recommend a song, an album that we will put on our Spotify playlist and brighten your day with hopefully something you haven't heard before, and you might put it on your playlist forever going forward. What have you got me? I was
just going to say on that point, if you listen to Linkin Park on our playlist, it ain't going to brighten your day. It's going to make you angry.
Yeah.
Not all our stuff is going to be happy. But my suggestion this week is happy. It's the live album of Where the Light Is by John Mayer.
Okay.
I've got it on Blu-ray somewhere, actually. I just need to dish it out. I should watch that again. But you get it's on Spotify, it's on YouTube and stuff like that. So, and I'll add it onto our Spotify playlist. But I've been a massive fan of John Mayer since I went football coaching in 2005. And I remember one of the coaches I was with, and we were traveling around, he stuck a CD in. And from that moment, I was like, yeah, this guy's great. And singer-songwriter, sort of bit of bluesy, bit acoustic. Does a bit of country as well. He has quite an eclectic mix. And he did an absolute brilliant remake of Free Fallin', you know, the Tom Petty song out of Joe Maguire.
Okay, yep.
He does an absolute brilliant live acoustic version of that, and that's in his set. And this set was from 2007 at the Nokia Theatre in LA, and it's just brilliant, man. It's such a chilled. I know you mentioned earlier, like the Ben Howard's quite chilled. It's kind of on that sort of line.
Nice,
but a little bit more happier. A little bit. Ben Howard can be a bit quite dark, but John Mayer is he's brilliant. He's got great in the guitar, and he's just brilliant, man. So yeah, look out for Free Fallin'. He does a really good extended version of Gravity. Stop This Train is lovely, and really lovely song is In Your Atmosphere. And I've had the pleasure of seeing him live at the Apollo. Tom took me a few years ago for my birthday, and yeah, he just lived up to the hype. He's brilliant, man. So yeah.
You've seen a lot of artists lives. I like John Mayer as well. It's very, like you said, chilled, easy listening. Has he done anything recently? I can't remember seeing.
Yeah, he's had his albums sort of go under the radar a little bit. But yeah, I've been listening to his, because again, I'm still going through like the catalogs of artists, and good thing on Spotify is that you get people who make playlists saying like this is the complete catalog without just having to like add it yourself. So
yep,
it's quite handy. So I've just been like listening to that, and he's been doing a lot of country music over the last few years. So it's like different direction compared to his early music. But yeah, he's worth listening to though. Very good, very nice to chill out to.
Maybe why I haven't, because country's not, I wouldn't say my particularly up there thing. It's probably why I haven't seen or heard.
Oh, but it's not country as in I slept with my neighbour's dog, and you know, and it's not that kind of country. Okay. It's a bit more chill out country. It's not like redneck country at all.
Okay, I'll look into it. Look into it.
I apologise for that country music song. So what can I hear from you then, Dave?
I've gone complete opposite as per usual. I've gone grime, grimiest of the grime.
Okay.
Kano.
Okay.
With the tune P's and Q's. I would think you would have. I think you would have heard it.
Okay, sing it.
Oh my god! There's no way I'm singing that. People are going to have to go onto this playlist to listen to it.
Right.
But,
okay.
For anyone that doesn't know, Kano, he's a British rapper, songwriter, actor from East Ham. He's a significant contributor to the grime music scene and widely considered one of the pioneers of the culture, grime culture.
I'm really sorry to interrupt. Who is the grime artist that passed away this year or recently? Wasn't there a grime artist? Was it? Who was it?
It was definitely not Kano. I know that for sure. He's not dead.
And then there has been a bit of bad blood between a couple of them, wasn't it? Wiley and someone else, maybe Skepta. They've had quite a big public feud.
I think that was Wiley and Dizzy Rascal.
Are you sure? Was it not Skepta?
Maybe.
There was like a public feud on Twitter.
Yeah, I think Dizzy Rascal was involved in that as well.
And then last week, and then I think wasn't Wiley done for assault or something recently? I don't know. I'm sort of going off.
That was Dizzy Rascal. He was done for assault. But yeah, so my one is just simply Kano, P's and Q's. It's a very grimy track from quite early on in his music career. But yeah, it's a track that I don't know why I'm just drawn to and I like. I don't know. I just like, this is what we're doing. We're recommending tunes that we listen to and we enjoy. And obviously you're all apart from your Linkin Park, you're all kind of happy-go-lucky, chill vibes, and I'm over here either raving or getting grimy.
Yeah, exactly. Sitting in your VW Polo at a car fest, just banging out grimy tunes.
That's it. 6x9s and the sub pumping.
So would Kano be your favourite grime artist?
I do like him. I don't, because there's not many. This is the thing. There's not many. Grime is quite small, so I like Kano, Wiley, Dizzy Rascal. Wouldn't say I have like either of them are more favourite than the other, but I like I like my grime.
And would you ever go see any of them live?
Yeah, I think I would. I think I would. I mean, I don't go to many concerts, that type of stuff. You've been to quite a few and loads of stuff. I try to go to, my thing is more sporting events, type thing. But yeah, definitely I wouldn't not go.
I mean, I think if you do go, you'd have to make sure you're tall up, mate. Really, I mean, it's not. It's I mean, grime. I know it's drill, isn't it? Drill's got quite a violent reputation, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, and I think that's possible step too far.
I was gonna say, are you into that?
No, that's maybe step too far drill.
It is. It has a bit of a rep, doesn't it? Really. So, yeah. I mean, I don't. There's a few grime tracks I've like. It's on my Spotify list and stuff like that, but it's not a genre that I would probably go to as much as you would. So you are definitely from the ends.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if you haven't heard this one, because it's one of his biggest.
Well, I'll tell you what. If it's called P's and Q's, he sounds like a very, very grown-up boy with a lot of manners.
Indeed.
Because is this the chorus? Because I'm on my P's and Q's. That's why I make more P's than U's. What does he mean by that? More P's than U's?
Come on, mate. Where are you from? P's means money. P's is money.
How is P's money?
Give me your P's. It's money. Come on, mate. Where did you grow up? Come on.
What, your pennies? Does he mean pennies?
P's means money.
Yeah, but where are you getting P's from?
Ben, I didn't invent this shit, did I?
Yeah, I know, but like when you said give me your P's, I'd be like, well, mushy, frozen. What are you looking for, mate? You know, garden peas. Next up is footage of the week. This is our chance to share what we've been watching on Netflix, Disney, Amazon Prime, Apple, Sky, BT.
There's a lot of streaming services.
Yeah, Hulu, YouTube, Vivo, whatever streaming service, wherever it is, we'll let you know it's out there. So, do you want to share yours this time, Dave?
I will do, because you'll notice a bit of a theme in my one.
Hang on. So if you suggested Kano as your Tuneage, are you suggesting Top Boy as your footage?
Hell yes.
Oh, well then we'll just carry on to mine then.
Have you seen it, Top Boy?
Honestly, I don't want to watch it.
Oh,
because it comes across so grimy and violent. I might just get a bit annoyed that that's the way things are, like in some areas. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'll stab you, bruv. I'll stab you. What are you doing, man?
First off, Ashley Walters, Kano, and Michael Ward should all get BAFTAs for especially the last season. So obviously, I've been going.
Did they not get BAFTAs?
Well, I mean, it's only just this season is only just come out. Okay. So I've been going on for weeks. Obviously, I've got something new, and obviously the season that has just came out in March, and I finished it.
Okay.
And for people that don't know, so Top Boy is a British crime drama series. It's created and written by Ron Bennett, and the series is set in the fictional summer house estate in the London borough of Hackney. And it's about a thriving but underground drugs business, and it's being run by Deshane, Ashley Walters, and his friend Sully, Kano, and they're trying to become the richest men on the block. So it started on Channel 4, and Channel 4 had 2 seasons of it, and then they didn't continue it. So it was off for a few years. And then do you know who got interested in it and became an executive producer and brought it back?
Do you know what? I came across it once, but
it's a big name.
Yeah, I go on.
Drake.
Right, okay.
Drake. I don't know how, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but he actually, I don't know if he saw the first 2, he got involved and he brought it.
He must have had that Friday night that we all have. He's sitting down with his girl, flicking through half an hour and going, what do you want to watch? Well, what do you want to watch? What do you want to watch? And then he's just gone, all right, okay, we'll just go. You give me some choices. This is Top Boy. We'll do this one.
So he brought it back. So there's seasons 1 and 2, which are on Channel 4. they've been added to Netflix, and then the new ones are called season 1 and season 2. So there's 4 seasons, but they're both called 1 and 2, 1 and 2. They've got different names.
Oh god, that's not going to be confusing, is it?
Well, it doesn't really matter because it is full-on drama. The acting in it, especially from those 3 I mentioned at the beginning, is absolutely incredible. They do all need BAFTAs. The whole show needs a BAFTA, and luckily at the end of the last one it said they're definitely doing another season, so I'm very, very happy about that. So
they don't all die then?
Well, I can't say, can I? I can't say, but yeah, I find it gripping, and it's right up my street. I don't mind a bit of violence and anything like that, and I'm so happy it's coming back.
Is it as violent as it looks?
There's obviously parts of it because obviously they're running a drug gang, so people come in, they try and take over their patch and stuff, and yeah, there is violence, but I don't think personally for me, I don't think it's anything major. But I would settle down and give it a try at least.
Okay, I might do it. I just always been put off with grimy dramas like that, just because although you said it's fictional, I bet it's quite close to what some estates are like in London and other areas of England and the world, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? I doubt it's far-fetched. I mean, would you say it's far-fetched?
Well, no, probably not. How? Because you obviously see how kind of, obviously, because this is the thing. I've read a thing before where people say that drug dealers know more about business than someone that's done a business degree in uni, because they run it like a business. The people at the top run it like a business. They have people working for them, buying and selling the product type thing. So yeah, there's stuff that you see how it's run and how they obviously distribute it to customers and stuff like that. Probably is how it's actually done to evade the police and the law. But obviously, I don't condone that in real life. But as a fictional program to watch, I think it's excellent.
Okay, I'll consider it. I'll consider it.
I mean,
it sounds like I need to be in the right mood to watch it, I reckon. Like if I want to have a laugh at something, it's probably not something I want to.
Maybe go to one of those fun fairs again and then come out and watch it, because if you're already angry, you might appreciate the bit of violence. Okay.
All right. Well, my suggestion is much, much happier than that, and it's a bit nostalgic as well.
Okay.
Did you ever get round to seeing the Ghostbusters Afterlife?
Oh, which one was the Ghostbusters Afterlife?
It's the recent one.
With the female cast?
No.
Okay, the male cast.
No, it's the remake. It's the brand new one. Oh my god!
They did a Ghostbusters with a female cast.
That's Ghostbusters 3. This is Ghostbusters 4. It's called Ghostbusters Afterlife.
No, I haven't seen it.
But I got I thought, you'd be well into it. Okay, so
the original Ghostbusters and stuff. Yeah, I think it's brilliant, but I haven't seen.
Right. Okay. So I might as well start from the beginning then, because so the original director, Ivor Reitman, his son Jason Reitman, directs the new one, right? And it's set 32 years after Ghostbusters 2, and it's focused on. Do you remember Egon?
Yep.
So it's focused on him, and he basically leaves a city and goes on his quest to basically catch ghosts in the countryside. Okay, that sounds a bit weird to say countryside, but he is in the middle of nowhere, right? It's a small town. Right? It ties in the story, and it's got a brand new cast in there. It's got Paul Rudd, Ant-Man, Paul Rudd. Yep. There's also a couple of actors you would obviously might know. Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things.
Oh, who does he play in Stranger Things?
He plays Eleven's boyfriend, who's Mike.
Yep.
He plays Mike. So there's a few new characters in there, but also all the old characters. So I don't really give it away. Put it this way, all the cast, apart from Egon, because unfortunately he died, the actor, he died last year, a couple of years ago, before it was filmed. So they put him in like CGI, and they got like some other people to play him. So all the old cast will appear at some point. You know, I can't really say anything more than that. Otherwise, what's the point? There's so much nostalgia, mate. Was you a big fan? Was you a fan of the Ghostbusters?
Oh yeah, the original Ghostbusters is brilliant.
Mate, me and my wife watched it. I was excited, like I was watching it. It was really good, man. It's just and they do all the nostalgia really well. It's not like because I thought the Indiana Jones remakes weren't very good. A lot of like remakes that throw back to like the originals don't really hit it, but I thought it was really, really good, man.
What did you say it was on? What did you say we can watch?
So it's on Now TV at the moment.
Okay.
I know it's like Sky Cinema, but obviously you can rent it and stuff like that. But if you ever get a chance to get around to watch it, man, it's wicked. I really enjoyed it, and it ties it all in with the original Ghostbuster stories without sort of like relying on it so much. And it's really good, man. Like, I'll say like one thing. Do you remember like the gargoyle dogs in the first one?
Yeah.
Okay, they return in some degree.
Yeah.
And then there's a really funny scene where Paul Rudd goes through the supermarket, and he all of a sudden this like bag of marshmallows start moving, and these marshmallows turn into like, do you remember like the marshmallow man?
Well, yeah, he was the main.
Yeah,
he was the main one, wasn't he?
There's little mini ones start popping out, and they start like doing all like naughty stuff. Like one of them, they do you know what s'more is, don't you?
That food, you mean?
Yeah. You know, with the wafer and then the marshmallow and then the chocolate. Yeah. They lay one of their marshmallows down, and then they spread chocolate over him, and then get this blowtorch and start making a s'more out of one of the marshmallow men. Oh, they're all moving and talking around. It's good, man. I really do recommend it. And there's like some spoilers in there, which I hope I haven't really. I don't know. There was also one character in there which I'm now going to call you by his nickname.
Go
on. So this boy. It's played by a little boy called Logan Kim, and he's obsessed with the weird and the natural. And so much he's obsessed that he does podcasts, and his nickname, and you don't actually find out what his name is, so they just call him Podcast. Me and my wife, we watched that and we went, "Oh, that's Dave."
Because I'm obsessed with podcasts.
Well, just because this is your baby, so you're now called Podcast.
Okay, fair enough. So, I'll take that. I've been called worse. Instant replay, where we take a look back at a sporting event that we have watched, enjoyed, been at, anything that we just want to pull out from the history books to relive again once more. So, Ben, do you want to go your one first?
I'll go first. Mine's pretty recent, to be fair. It was something that happened last year.
Okay, that is pretty
and
recent.
Something that rocked the tennis world.
Okay.
Why are you smiling?
Well, mine wasn't last year, but I might have tennis as well.
Okay.
But anyway, we move on.
Well, mine was a certain female tennis star.
Okay.
Is it the same as yours?
No.
Oh, there we go then. That's right then.
Mine wasn't last year. Mine was a bit further back, so we're good.
Well, mine was last year, and I'll confess I did not follow her journey throughout the US Open, but I watched the final with my wife, and it was Emma Raducanu's US Open win.
Yep.
Did you watch it?
Yep.
Oh, that just absolutely brilliant. I reckon that is one of the moments of a generation you probably won't see for a good while, because I was reading up about how many kind of records like she had broken just being there.
Yep.
And she had achieved so much just in the tournament. So she was the first qualifier to even reach a final, a major Grand Slam. Apart from even winning it, she was the first one to even reach a final. In fact, she never dropped a set, and apparently she didn't even play a tie break. I mean, that is amazing. I didn't realize that. She beat 2 top 40 players on the way to the final. And another thing, right, you don't realize is that she actually played 10 whole games, 10 whole matches, including the qualifiers and the final, just to win it. And I think that included 3 qualifying matches just to get to the first round. So already she has done so much just to get to the first round, and win it. I mean, she's only 18 years old at the time. she jumped 100 places in one ranking competition.
Yep.
And I just remember watching that, and apparently 9.2 million people watched it, which was more than the men's at the time. Just showed you I think there's a shift happening between men's and women's tennis and now and maybe the next few years. Because if you look at Djokovic, Murray, Federer, and Nadal, they're coming to the end, aren't they? You know, I think this probably might be the last year you might see one of them maybe win something, because obviously Djokovic has been beaten a few times recently. You've got is it Medvedev, with the Russian star Medvedev? Was it Medvedev who won a Grand Slam last year?
Yeah, I believe it was.
Yeah.
I think he might have beaten Djokovic for it.
So that Elite Four is starting to come apart now, and then you've got on the other side. I mean, because I remember watching that final, and Raducanu, she played Leylah Fernandez, the Canadian, and she beat Naomi Osaka, who was the defending champion in the third round on her way there. So you've got quite a lot of like fresh talent coming through the women's game, very open. I'm not sure we'll ever see something like that again, really. And obviously she's British. I don't think she's British born, but obviously she's British national, which, you know, obviously the media love that. And it's just amazing to watch. And she was so confident. She was so comfortable. It was like she didn't break at all. And I remember watching that Leylah Fernandez, and she actually came across quite arrogant, very like aggressive in her play. Raducanu was just such more of a fluent player when she was playing. I think there might be a shift, but yeah, that was just a moment I think we might not see in history for quite a while.
I think it's a shame that from that she hasn't been able to kick on. I think she's been injured and then beaten and stuff. So I mean, she did obviously incredibly well at 18, and I think obviously then you've got to not let the pressure get to you from that big win, and you've got to try and kick on from that. So it's a bit of a shame that she hasn't been able to do that, but obviously she's very early in her career, so hopefully she can continue and do good things. But how you touched on like the women's game being higher, it's probably because obviously for years, like you said, you had the top four men's, and then the women's was always dominated by the Williams sisters. So in both camps, it's a bit like the F1, how it's just been like Mercedes and Hamilton for years. People get a bit like, oh, it's just a bit same old. So whereas now obviously the Williams sisters have obviously aged and they're coming to the end. I don't know if both of them still play or just one. And then
Well, I read out Venus is retired. Serena's probably quite close to soon. Yeah. And also apparently that it was the first Grand Slam final since 2011 that didn't feature one of the Williams sisters.
Wow.
So over 10 years, so that's 4 Grand Slams a year. That's over nearly 40 tournaments, at least 36 to 40 tournaments where one of the Williams sisters has not been obviously playing in that final. So like you said, there might be a change of the guard.
Yes.
And it's going to happen. It's happening in the men's. I think it's probably already happened in the women's. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know in the men's, like, especially Nadal and Federer, they're timeless. I don't know how they keep going on. They've just been in the sport for so long and keep winning stuff. I think, obviously, when Djokovic came onto the scene, they put a bit more pressure. Yeah. Andy Murray, maybe. Not a massive fan of it.
Do you see, have you noticed how Federer and Nadal, they're starting to sort of choose their tournaments a bit more wisely? I think Federer, he had a break last year to be ready for grass because he said the turnaround between tournaments wasn't good enough. He couldn't recover quick enough.
Yeah,
Nadal was the master of clay. Yes. So obviously French Open is always his, and that's where you're going to put all his eggs in his basket. So, and I think Murray, I reckon he'll call time after this year because the amount of stress they will put their body through, I think they're going to want to walk later in life, don't they? They don't want to be going through.
Well, yeah, Murray's had a hip replacement.
Yeah, serious. So, but for me, if Raducanu doesn't win another Grand Slam or anything, I still think that is an amazing moment of sporting history that we witnessed last year. It was brilliant to watch. So,
no, agreed. Well, I'm just going to roll it straight into some more tennis with the 2011 Wimbledon men's final. And that was Novak Djokovic defeating Rafa Nadal. And that was kind of what we were talking about. That was kind of in the time then, that was a bit of changing of the guards. Because by losing to the final, Nadal losing to Djokovic in the final ended Nadal's 20-match Wimbledon winning streak dating back to 2008.
Wow.
So Nadal hadn't lost a game at Wimbledon since 2008. And then it was also the first time since 2002 that neither Roger Federer or Nadal had won Wimbledon.
Wow. So it is a bit of a replicant of what Raducanu did last year with the change of the guard. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. By Nadal and Djokovic, both Nadal and Djokovic were both in contention for taking the number one singles spot. By Djokovic winning his single match against Joe Wilfried Tsonga.
Yeah,
he was all like Tsonga. He was almost like he was quite there. He would always get to like semi-final, quarterfinals, but never.
I saw him play once.
He was a good tennis player, but I don't know if he ever won a Grand Slam.
No, he was always like semi-final. Me and my wife went to it was in Paris once, and I sort of saw what was going on. And there was like a tennis ATP tournament going in the indoor thing, and I saw Tsonga play. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
And I saw Gael Monfils, the other French dude.
Yep.
He's a bit more flamboyant player, but you're right. He'd never. He's one of those players that I don't think his mobility was ever good enough to probably hit a final to keep up with, obviously, because Djokovic. Jeez, I mean, that guy's a machine. You're not a Djokovic fan, are you? Or you?
No, I don't mind him at all. I think he's a very good player. So let me just by Djokovic winning his semi-final against Tsonga, he gained the world number one ranking for the first time, and that also marked the first time since 2004 where the number one spot wasn't Federer or Nadal.
Wow.
So again, he took away the losing, his winning streak, and the first time since 2002 wasn't Roger Federer or Nadal, and then also took away the first number one slot when it wasn't those two since 2004. So it's like proper changing of the guards there.
Yeah, and he wasn't a flash in the pan, was he? I mean, like.
Well, no. So I've noted down that since then he's won Wimbledon 6 times. And he's got 20 Grand Slams to his title, to his name, 20 Grand Slams. And I also saw, as I was doing the research, I also noted this. Do you know how much prize money he has made over the years?
Oh, jeez. I mean...
Do you know how much? I've looked at this before because I was interested. If you even qualify for Wimbledon and you get knocked out in the first round, I think the first round you win something like 30k.
Yeah, I was going to say something like 10k or something. You could check.
It's like 30k. It's like a year's wages. It's like a year's wages for getting knocked out of the first round.
Yeah.
So, but his prize money to date, what were you thinking?
It's got to be 100 million plus, surely.
156 million.
Yeah.
It's not bad, is it? It's not bad, 156 million.
Thing is, though, right? If you compare that to other sports, say like golf, and I'm not knocking golf at all. I mean, it's got a completely different level of physical fitness and physical requirements. But the money pumped into golf is, tennis has nothing compared to golf in terms of money. And then obviously, if you look at the wages of footballers, I mean, some of them on like someone like Ronaldo or Messi will be on $500,000 a week. I mean, they'll make 150 million. Probably within a year of all their sponsorships and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, and tennis players, they work hard for it, man. And it is there's no league. It's a knockout game. You know, they don't get second chances. It is literally
all tournaments, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all tournaments. It's a bit of a true, I've always looked at it as a very true competition because you have to win by 2 clear points to prove that you're better enough. You know, it's not like in football, you can win by an own goal or something like that, or, you know, win on penalties. I mean, you might say a tiebreak slightly like that, but you still have to get one over your opponent. It's quite a true game. So yeah, are you any good at tennis, Dave?
I'm okay. I can hit a ball. I'd say probably average to poor.
Can you serve?
Not like I can give it a go, but it's not. He's not coming across the net at 100 miles an hour. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, seven's a hard one because we did. Do you remember we did a tennis module at school, didn't we? Do you remember for GCSE?
Oh no, I remember the
I
hockey
do.
module and the swimming module. I don't remember the tennis one.
I think we all remember the swimming module.
Oh, that was good.
Oh, good. I
That
think
was good.
all us apart from two of our, can we say colleagues in school? Two of our school friends
Oh, it
couldn't
was.
really swim, and then they got paired up to try and save each other. But that's the worst
Oh,
thing.
it was so funny. So yeah, so it was basically one was in the you had to practice because it was swimming GCSE. You had to swim certain length, and you had to practice the survival as if like someone was
Yeah.
drowning. So one of them went in, and he practically was drowning anyway because he couldn't really swim. And then the other one that couldn't swim had to go and try and rescue him. And he got to him, and they were basically pulling each other
Yeah. What?
under. And it just, I don't know, it must have looked what happened on the Titanic, basically. But
Yeah.
it was brilliant.
I'm just thinking, like, why did he pair it, like, because it was Mr. Radborn, wasn't it? Or the swim teacher, whoever it was. Why did they pair those two up? Was it because if they say like they paired you up with one of them, they might drown you? So
Yeah.
was it so they might just drown each other and just was that like the shorter straw sort of thing? You know?
I don't know. It must, maybe it was for his own amusement, but maybe he knew what was going to happen. It was like, yeah, put those two together. I've had a bad day. I need cheering up.
Next up, you said, she said, he said, they said, we said. It's our quote of the week, and it can be taken from anyone, from any era, any genre, any industry, something inspirational, something funny, and we dissect it and try to find its meaning and maybe try to implement it in our own life. Dave, what have you got for us?
I've got a quote from the late Steve Jobs.
Oh, okay.
And it is, people think focus means saying yes to the things you've got to focus on. It means saying no to the 100 other good ideas that are there. You have to pick carefully. So I'm massively, massively guilty of this one. I'm always coming up with ideas, harebrained schemes, trying it, moving on to the next one, where my focus should really be just come up with an idea, focus on it, and I will get other ideas, but say no, they're no good. Forget about them, concentrate on what you're doing. So I think that one like resonates with me quite a lot because I'm very much guilty of it.
So is that about making sure you're not sharing your time over too much?
Yeah. When you say you're going to focus on something, you say, yes, I'm going to focus on this. He's saying, obviously, well, you've got to say that means you have to say no to other stuff. You can't focus on everything. You're going to have to learn to say no and pick carefully what you want to prioritize in your life.
Okay.
I don't know if you're guilty of that. I definitely am. I think you know from our WhatsApp groups and
I'm probably not as guilty because I try to take on what I want and I try to keep that balance very clear. Like at the moment, my job is not permanent, so if I wanted to kind of go permanent, that is like a teacher position, it would sort of be changing my lifestyle, but taking more on, which means I'd have less time for my family, less time for my things, like less time for the podcast. Do you know what I mean?
No, you can't do that then.
I know exactly. Exactly. I can't, cost of living. Well, just go back to beans and toast. So I do try to keep that balance already, but I definitely can see where if you take on too much, the quality is probably going to dive on your main focus, or you're going to maybe misprioritize your ideas and the things you kind of want to achieve. So I could definitely see it.
I think that's actually what's just come to me from that quote as well is obviously Elon Musk is in charge of Tesla and SpaceX. And when he said he was going to be buying Twitter, the Tesla stock, obviously SpaceX is private, so it's not on the stock market, but Tesla, the stock price dropped because investors are worried he's spreading himself too thin. So it's that type of thing. Can you do Tesla, SpaceX and Twitter all at the same time? He says he works ridiculous amount of hours per week and stuff like that. But even for a smart man like himself, there's only so many hours in a day. You will burn out eventually. Yeah. You can only do so much. So I think that relates to this quote as well, really.
Okay. Well, my quote sort of goes hand in hand a little bit with that as well, or at least supports it. So my quote is from Bruce Lee. One of his this is not the quote, but if you ever on like Instagram watching their reels, sometimes his people use it. One of his quotes of the water quote, when like become formless, become water, water becomes a cup, becomes the cup and stuff. I thought it's quite funny, and I quite like the way he speaks. But one of his quotes is, "A goal is not always meant to be reached. It often serves simply as something to aim at." And I thought that's quite a really good philosophical way to look at something, because if you obsess with making sure you achieve it, you might miss out on things on the way through and things that you're learning. And also you might, you won't be overly disappointed. So say like you want to reach say like you're training for a 5K and you want to hit like the 30-minute mark. Okay. What you're obviously missing out on is that you're getting fitter as you go into. You might not ever get hit under 30, or you might get close or something. But what you're missing out on is that it's opened you up to other opportunities. Actually, to be fair, it's quite not opposite of yours, but it kind of shows that other opportunities might come up on that journey. As you get fitter, you might get interested in other sports and fitness activities. You know what I mean? You might branch out. And that's not about spreading yourself thin. It's just open yourself up to opportunities that you can kind of focus on. And then if you apply your quote, then you can refocus again, really. So, I think our quotes do go hand in hand a little bit.
Yeah, a goal and an aim should be one thing, but it's fluid and can change and move. It doesn't need to be completely rigid, for sure.
Yeah. So some good quotes there, man. Do you know our quote of the week section, I think it's undervalued.
I think we always quite come away with it, enjoying that one and feel better from it. So I hope people listening feel the same.
Yeah. I think we should release a Waffle Cafe podcast quote book. Last topic of the evening, afternoon, morning, or whenever you are listening to us, it is Would You Rather? And it is my turn this week to give you a scenario of where you have to choose one of the options. And then we put it out to the audience and see what you think and what you would do. So, Dave.
I'm here. I'm listening. I'm ready.
Would you rather live in the wild, wild west or live in the Egyptian Empire, times of the period?
Okay. Interesting.
There's a lot to think about there. So
yeah, because they're vastly different.
What kind of era time would you rather be living in? And you would be living in a community in the Wild Wild West, and you would be living in a community around sort of like the pyramids and that kind of civilization.
My initial gut would say the Wild Wild West, because I think in the Egyptian times and that kind of stuff, there was a lot of slavery and that kind of thing, obviously, to build the pyramids and stuff. So I think the Wild Wild West, you'd live more of a normal life as we know it now without slavery and stuff. But obviously I know that there was sort of like the Wild Wild West was like guns and stuff and cowboys and that kind of thing. So maybe fighting and stuff more.
Well, that's the thing with the Wild Wild West, right? Is that you could be living there, you could accidentally knock into someone or spill their drink, and then they go, right, you outside, and and all of a sudden, exactly, and that's it. Over what? Exactly. I mean, that's how like lawless it was. So that's the risk you kind of take in there. Where Egyptian Empire, you're a slave or you're a king. So it's a weird one, isn't it?
But then if you're a slave, I mean, what type of life is that? At least in the Wild Wild West, I think you've got more of an option, haven't you? Potentially. That's the way I'm leaning. That's possibly the way I'm leaning. And obviously the Egyptians and stuff, that's very like deserty, very hot. And we did that one the other week, didn't we? Arctic or the desert. So I think possible I'm thinking living conditions and stuff like that. I'm leaning towards Wild Wild West, unless you can throw anything I haven't thought about on the other side. What do
you think your living conditions would be like in the Wild Wild West then?
When you watch those films and stuff, they were little towns and stuff like that.
Yeah, but they weren't like a Dreams mattress. Like it'd be like hard. You might not even have a bed, mate. You might just have to be sleeping on the floor with like a pillow stuffed with hay, just as your bedding.
Okay, well, what have I got in Egyptians times then? Have I got a dreams mattress?
No, but you might have like
A hammock?
yeah, you might have a hammock.
Well, I could get a hammock in the Wild Wild West, surely.
Yeah, but they're not really known for hammocks in the Wild Wild West, but in like the Egyptian times in those very hot countries, you just pitch up hammock, swing yourself to sleep.
No, but in the Wild Wild West, they've all got like those little towns. Everyone's got a job. There's a pub and a bar. That's it.
Yeah, but jobs probably would have been very hard to come by and very low paid. You'd have to be like washing the muck off like horseshoes or like.
It's like you have these little towns. You have these little towns, and everyone's got their job. There's like obviously there's like a funeral parlor. There's a bar.
Of course, there's a funeral parlor, isn't it?
Yeah. There's a little hotel where people come and stay. Sometimes that's above the bar.
Which is also a brothel.
Horses, yes, brothel. Somewhere for horses to have their shoes done. They've all got. It's like a little community, a little town. I think that is way more appealing than the Egyptians, where either obviously if I'm a king, brilliant, but if I'm a slave, not so much.
Okay. All right. Okay.
What are you leaning towards then?
Neither.
You wouldn't want either. Gun to your head. Gun to your head. You have to have one.
Nah, that's all right. I'll skip that question, mate. To be fair, it's fine. No, I'm joking. No, I can understand that. I mean, I think if you're born in the right family in the Egyptian Empire, I think you're laughing at you. Wild Wild West, like I said, though, I think everyone's running a risk that if you piss off the wrong person, it's guns drawn and that's it. Yep. Game over. So you kind of have to keep yourself to yourself and just make sure you give everyone a bit of space and don't piss off the local drunk, really.
Or be the sheriff.
Yeah, or again, but then the sheriff's turnover would have probably been quite high as well, because obviously you get bandits coming through, robbers and stuff like that, highwaymen. They'd probably definitely go for the sheriffs. And if everyone's got a gun, then it's lawless, isn't it, really? Who cares if you're a sheriff? You just get shot again and then on your horse and go. You know what I mean? So that's what it's called, the Wild Wild West, really, isn't it? So Wild West. Yeah,
Wild Wild West. Anything goes.
So where can the people comment, Dave?
Again, the Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Let us know your thoughts.
Definitely, and then and also share it around. Explain your comments as well. It's always good to discuss. And then one of us will definitely reply and jump onto it.
We will do.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's the end of episode 6.
It is. We're finding them out thick and fast. We're getting them out one a week, which is great.
It's a bit like your labour and pregnancy, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah. Get it out.
Thick and fast. One every week.
That's it. That is it. But yeah, so I mean, I didn't even forgot to say, obviously, last week, we're over a month now, going strong. Yeah,
every week. And if you're not up to date with our pods, it's just because you're part of the Waffle Cafe podcast and we just like waffling. So there we go. So it's a thank you from me.
Big thank you from me as always, and we'll have to catch you in the next one.
Yeah, wish you all a very good week and over and out.